for people is the gap, filling the gap between intention and action. So oftentimes we talk about wanting to do something, but we don't fully commit to actually doing it. So especially as it pertains to ourselves, when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to lifestyle changes and things of that nature, we only partially commit to doing what is necessary to get the end result of what we're looking for. We are so focused on the weight, and we do everything that's necessary to address the weight, but only until we reach the goal of, okay, the goal is 5 pounds. Now I'm gonna go back to doing all the things that I did before. Well, all the things that you were doing before weren't working for you. So whatever needs to change on a permanent basis. Anytime you have temporary change, the change is gonna be what? Temporary. That's just the bottom line. It's cause and effect. Everything that we do has an equal or similar reaction. So what I want to address is getting more to the root cause. The got monkey addresses the monkey that sits on our back, right? We keep making a choice for ourselves that creates regret, but it's more than momentary regret. It's that constant feeling of disappointment, anger, frustration, that type of thing. And then we keep repeating that behavior over and over again. That gets to be frustrating. If you look at it as, I just want to lose weight, you're not really addressing the real issue. For me, people that struggle with weight have an underlying emotional attachment with food. There's something that is going on that is causing conflict. To think about when I'm eating, when I'm putting food in my mouth, or when I'm looking for food, what exactly is it that I'm trying to feed? You can't wait to get home and overindulge because there's a sense of comfort there. But there's a sense of comfort, and then there's that sense of disappointment after you've done it. And even while you're doing it, but you continue to do it. That's the monkey on the back, right? That's what I want you to understand. What's driving you? What's driving the behavior? What's causing you to behave in a manner that makes you constantly disappointed with yourself? The place that you want to get to, a place that's called high-mindedness. What high-mindedness is an ideal of self-respect. You have to decide what each of you is worth to yourself and what your health is worth to you. Doing something differently is easy. It's just different. Don't change everything at once. A lot of times what we do is we overwhelm ourselves. And we feel like we have to change everything, the whole shebang. No. Especially if you've been doing something, having certain patterns your whole entire life. Address one thing. Maybe you haven't been eating breakfast. Or maybe your breakfast is not that good. Just work on breakfast. Just do breakfast differently. That's it. Continue with your lunch, continue with your snacks, continue with your dinner. Do that specific thing differently. That's it. Do you think it's doable to say, okay, let me work on one thing, one particular thing? You have to eat, but you can make better choices. It's not about good and bad. It's not about categorizing things into carbs and proteins and fats. It's about recognizing all of those things are part of a healthy diet. All of those things. It's just a matter of better choices than others, right? It's the quality of what you're eating at that point in time. It's actually doing something for your body. And when food is doing something for your body, it allows the body to repair. It allows the body to behave in the manner that you want it to behave in. So just one thing doing differently. You have to eat. Could you eat differently in the morning? Could you make better choices for yourself? Could you? Something like, I can't do it, then you're right, you absolutely can't do it. And there's nothing that will help you. There is a choice that you make. We as mindful people, the mind can constantly be reprogrammed. It's a matter of conditioning and wanting to do it. So we are, in fact, what we repeatedly do. You have 70 years of history. That's a very difficult thing to just undo in one day. It's not going to happen. There has to be a level of patience and understanding the patterns that you have, and understanding that any pattern that you do have can in fact be broken if you want to. You have to look at every area of your life and look at things that you've been incredibly successful with. It is a matter of deciding what you want for yourself, what you feel is the absolute most important thing. Absolute most important thing. Your health, most important thing. deciding exactly how to achieve that success. It's like a recipe, like a curriculum for any degree. If you wanted to be a doctor, these are the specific things that you would do in order to achieve that. And beyond that, there is a level of focus. The focus is the last thing. Even when you don't feel like doing it, you do it anyway, because what you want is the most important thing. But in that, does that mean that you're always going to be successful in the journey? No. There are three directions in which you move. You're either moving forward in the direction of what you want, you're moving backwards, or you're staying right where you are. And sometimes you take 2 steps back to take 3 steps forward. But that's a matter of being patient with yourself, of being understanding with yourself. There's self-forgiveness, and there is, what do you expect of yourself? What are you willing to do to get it? If you're at a stage of your life where you say, okay, I'm at a certain age, I've never been successful before, so screw it. It's not going to happen. You're right, it's not going to happen. There has to be a shift, and you have to believe that you can accomplish something. Nobody sets out and is successful with something if they don't truly believe that they can do it. Now, the frustration is, if you have embarked on this journey before and you've been unsuccessful, you have to say, oh, you go into it again going, I'm going to do it again, but I don't really believe what I'm saying because I haven't been successful with it before. You have to really put things into perspective. You have to really commit. You have to really make the decision. This is in fact what I want for myself. My health is the most important thing. If you go and open up your cabinets, what's in your house? What's there? What kind of things are in your homes? What's in your house?
A lot of boxed rice and boxed potatoes and convenience foods.
Now, if I looked at every single person's schedule in here, I guarantee you that I can find an excess of time that you are not managing properly. That you are either spending in front of the television, you're either on Facebook, you're doing things that you could otherwise be doing more productive things that are in line with what you say you want for yourself. So the complaint that there's not enough time, I need things that are convenient, it's not true. Everybody is constrained with the same amount of, we all have 24 hours in our day. Our schedules are busy. Some people are doing it and some people aren't. What's the difference between the people that make the decision to spend the time doing what they need to do to get the result that they want versus the people who choose to make excuses? My feeling is if you keep making excuses, then you don't really want what you say that you want. A pill's not going to do it. A shake's not going to do it. Coming into the gym to try to work off what you're doing outside is not going to do it. We come in here so fixated on calories. The calories that you're burning in here do not matter. They don't matter. They only matter because you're doing something outside of here that doesn't make you happy and you're trying to burn it off. If you're not respectful and you're not happy with where you are right now, I promise you, 5 pounds less is not going to make you any happier. It truly is not. Because whatever is going on is deeper than the 5 pounds. Which is why I talk about really getting to the root cause, understanding why you're making those choices, understanding why you're constantly disappointed with yourself, understanding what it is that you want for yourself in the first place, understanding that you absolutely, without a doubt, can make change. The wonderful, wonderful thing about the human brain is it can be retaught. It can be rewired, in a sense. You can do things differently. We don't, at any point in time, become who we are until the day that we die. We are constantly under construction. Our best is always under construction. We can always do things differently. We can always do things better. But you have to trust your journey. You have to be respectful of where you are now. If you don't respect where you are now, I promise you, you're not going to respect where you're going. Until I came to a point of having to look in the mirror and have this self-realization and this self-analysis and really pick myself apart and recognize, okay, people go, well, so your monkey was overeating. No, that was just the symptom of it. My issue was my wanting to have control and therefore having lack of control. but my desire for social acceptance. What's driving you? Is it the fact that you're too tough to make a change? Is it the fact that, oh, I've been doing it forever, I don't want to do it? Is it, you have to really think about why. Why? When I eat, what am I truly feeding? You have a true ideal of self-respect, that high-mindedness, when you really, really believe and respect who you are as a person and what you want from yourself as an individual, the choices that you make start to change. We look and we feel a certain way based on the choices that we're making. There has to be complete transparency. You have to be dead honest with yourself about the choices that you're making. You have to be completely honest with yourself with what you want for yourself and what you're willing to do to get it. It's not a matter of intelligence. We're all intelligent people sitting in here. It's a matter of, there's a difference between knowing what to do and doing what we know. You have to do something to get the result that you want. You can't keep doing the same thing and go, well, nothing's working. You're right, nothing's working because you're doing the same thing. You have to do things differently. Do you want to do things differently?
Yes.
So then you can do things differently.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
That's powerful. You just told me that you could. So you can, but you have to do it. You have to be committed to doing something differently. Baby steps. Time is going to pass. Baby steps. One thing at a time. One small little change. That way you start feeling good about being able to be successful. The food that you have in your house should get mold on it. It should go bad. It should taste funky if you don't eat it within a certain period of time. And it's not any more difficult to cook those things. It's not any more time consuming. It's a matter of just making the decision to do it. All of the recipes that I use on the EatThatMonkey.tv site, 30 minutes or less. 30 minutes or less. And they're great. Look at your foods. How many ingredients are in the foods that you're eating? Is it a list like this big? And can you pronounce 2 of them? Do you think it's in your best interest to eat them? It's not to say that you can't eat them from time to time. If you tell yourself you can't have something, what do you want? You want the thing that you tell yourself that you can't have, right? So it's a matter of, that's one of the things that can change, your perspective, your words that you use. You can have it, and you tell yourself, I can eat it. You can have your cake and eat it too. You can't eat the whole cake. Knowing exactly what you're putting in your body. I expect a lot of my body. I expect that when I am taking a class or I'm doing something, I have a certain demand that I want. I want to perform in the best way that I possibly can. Even if you're not trying to go out there and do crazy workouts or do anything else, what do you expect of your body? What do you want it to do for you? You do bad to your body, and I promise you, your body will do worse to you. And then feel good. There's such a difference between feeling labored when you're walking, doing things, or not feeling good about yourself, to start making choices that do leave you feeling good about yourself and the choices that you're making. Do you drink soda? Could you cut out a soda? Do you drink 4 of them? Could you drink 3 of them instead of 4? That's it. Drink 3 instead of 4. Could you do that? Is that doable? Sure it is. Sure it is, if you want to do it. I am fully committed to this. I understand that I haven't been successful with it in the past. That doesn't matter. Right now, I know that I'm going to be successful. Should you have been making better choices before? Sure. Yeah. But did you take the step and taking responsibility for yourself and saying, hey, something needs to give, something needs to change, and I am committed to making that change. Do you have moments where you feel like I'm not making any ground, or I feel like I'm stuck? Sure. And that's okay. Think about, in raising a child, think about the motivation, think about the encouragement in raising a child, right? That child starts and they're crawling. And then they start to get up and they start to walk and they tumble and they fall, right? Never have I met a person that said, "You suck, stay there. You're never gonna walk. Yeah, just, you terrible," right? A kid that failed a test, and then you're like, "You're stupid. Forget it, don't even bother going to school," right? What do? You do everything that's necessary to help them, to encourage them, to build their self-esteem, to make them feel good. You give them tools to help them with a particular test, right? We're constantly encouraging young kids as they're, as they're getting older, to do better, to feel better, to give them the help necessary to get the result that they desire, that you desire for them. Why don't you do it for yourself? You're not any different than a child. We don't become an adult and suddenly we're perfect and we don't need any help or assistance or encouragement. You have to think about, if I said what I say to myself to somebody else, you would knock that person out. You have to think about starting to use words, and you need to put them up someplace where you can see them. I am a beast. I am badass. I am great. I am all of these things. Put that up. Look at it and say it. I talked about, and if you've ever been in one of my seminars before, I talk about getting in front of a mirror, and like Stuart Smalley, do you know who Stuart Smalley was from Saturday Night Live? No. He had it was this skit, I forget what the actor's name is. And so he had this thing, "I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, gosh darn it, people like me." And he had to repeat it. So he would get people on his show that, were down on themselves, and he had Michael Jordan on, which was like the funniest episode, where Michael Jordan's going, "I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me." You have to do the same thing. Get in front of the mirror and say, "I am good." Whatever it is. I have a nice smile. I have good hair. My eyes are so pretty. I like my arms. I make people feel good. That's it. Like this great thing, and you have to say it out loud. You have to go into the mirror and go, "I am good. All right." And then you start your day, you go all about your business, and you think it's crazy, but I'm telling you, it is so powerful to do. And then suddenly one day you're like, "Damn, that's right." All right, right? And you feel that way. And when you say it, you feel it. You absolutely feel it. But when you say the opposite, I guarantee you feel that too. I suck. I feel like shit. I'm not good enough. I'm fat. I'm ugly. I'm all of these things, right? You say that, you believe it. And that's how you go on about your day, and you make the choices that are, "I'm fat, I'm ugly, I might as well eat that because I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm all of these things." And that's how you behave. So go into the mirror, go in there. Put your positive affirmations up there. I am strong, I am beautiful, I am capable, I am willing to make a change, I am ready. You have to think, I'm willing to make a change. I'm ready to make a change, and I'm able. Ready, willing, and able. And once you recognize that you are ready, willing, and able, I guarantee you the sky's the limit. Every single person in here is absolutely able to do things, because you make your choices, you do things for yourself, you are absolutely 100% able. Being ready is another thing. We're not always ready for change. We're not always ready to do something differently. There's some type of resistance, and it's usually right up here that's creating that resistance. But if you are ready and you are willing, and willingness is doing everything within your power to make it the change, and saying, "Oh my God, it's going to be so hard to do something differently." No, it's not. It's not any harder to make a different choice. It's just different. The saying, "If you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right." And it's true. So you write yes or no. Changing this behavior is important to me, not to anybody else, and that's key. It is important to you and nobody else. I am willing to do whatever it takes to achieve this goal. Yes or no? I believe I will be successful in making the change. Yes or no? My health will be better because of making this change. Yes or no? I have chosen a goal that I can be successful in achieving. Yes or no? I am truly committed. Yes or no? I will ask for support. Yes or no? If you answered no to any one of those things, you are not prepared to make a change. If you answered yes, then you're absolutely ready to make a change.